all right. Welcome to That Spurs episode. This is our season preview. I am so excited to see a Kool-Aid smile on my face. We got Tommy. Tommy talks ball with us, and Colin will be soon joining us in a few minutes. And this is going to be a fun show because we are going to preview our beloved Spurs. We're going to preview the league. We're going to preview the team. We're going to preview and make our predictions of what we see is going to happen this year. And so, let's start. Tommy, how are you doing?
I'm all good. I'm all good, brother. Absolute pleasure being on your show for the first time. You've been on mine. You've been on mine a fair few times, so I'm glad to be here. It's good to see you. You've started doing the lives. I've seen some of them recorded back. It's a little bit late for me with the US time differences, but you've got fantastic content. So it's great to be here. It's great to be here, man.
Oh, thank you. And I gave a shout out that very first live stream to Tommy, and I'll give a shout out once again. He introduced me to StreamYard, and it's just been a good mentor for me. So I am just in gratitude to you, brother. Thank you very, very much.
Much love, man. Much love. I appreciate you boys coming on. The Stateside boys. I really, really appreciate that, and I really enjoy that live show every week. And I'm going to start doing that Sunday now. That's going to be on a Sunday. Sometimes Mari joins me, sometimes not. But and I'm sure from what you've been telling me, you're going to start releasing more and more content now as the season starts. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. People think you only have to hit it on the lives. If you're watching the recording, hit the subscribe, smash the like, get your comments in. It helps Mari's and everybody's channel grow. So make sure you do that, people.
Thank you. I'm excited. We got some exciting stuff coming up. We got Colin here. Welcome, Mr. Colin.
Hey,
Mr.
what's up, everybody?
Talking ball here, man. So how are you doing, Colin?
Doing good, man. My computer though decided to be kind of a jerk and make me do an update right before we did this. So sorry for being late, guys.
No worries. So definitely excited. And so all right, Scott's already in the house. Man,
Scott, what's up?
He is awesome, man. And thank you for showing us love. And here we go. I will start out by saying on June 30th, I could have been one of the most depressed Spurs supporter on the planet. At that time, we didn't have a coach. We didn't have a vision. We somewhat have a vision. I'm banking it on Paratici and Nuno and what they want to do, but it was just complete embarrassing. But this preseason has been encouraging. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been encouraging. Nuno is reminding me a little bit like Pochettino. I'm not saying he's Pochettino, but the vibes that I'm getting from Nuno is kind of like a Pochettino vibe. And it's really being encouraged by that. Some of the players have stepped it up. There are those who have not stepped it up. But despite that, and Paratici, doing some wheeling and dealing. We still need more. This preseason, I would say if I gave it a grade, to be fair, I would say a B. If I'm giving grade levels, a B. An A will be all about transfer dealings would have been done. But I'm going to give it a B because we went undefeated, And I know a lot of teams have gone undefeated and stunk it up in the season. But like I said, I'm feeling really, really positive. Tommy, are you feeling positive? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. But basically, I always feel confident. Before the season starts, I always feel confident as a Spurs fan. And even though it's Man City, I believe we're certainly not going to lose. But there have been signs. There have been signs outside of that. To feel confident about. And as you say, as you mentioned, pre-season, we went unbeaten. I think the most important game, and the one that impressed me the most wasn't actually the Arsenal game. We sort of played them off the park. Arsenal were a weak team. Arsenal's correlation in terms of league table successes. And, they're finishing. I'm telling you now, I've said it on mine and other people's channels. They are finishing in the bottom half of the table next season. But back to Spurs. Chelsea, going down to 2-0 to Chelsea and coming back. I know they made a few subs at half time, and that's why we're unbeaten. We came back from that. And they're a good sign. They're a good sign. As you said, unbeaten. We got Ramiro win. Our business isn't done yet. We've got about, 18 days of a transfer window left. And 18 days is a very, very long time. With Levy, we know he can get a lot done in one day. So a long time. And there's certainly big things to look forward to. And we start off against the best. And that's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, I totally agree with you. And I'm the type, I'm wired that, hey, first game of the year, we're going to win the Premier League. All right?
Yeah, well, I think that's a Spurs thing. We all are.
Hey,
I think on our day we can beat anybody.
And then after the first game, then reality hits. But the first game of the year, I don't care how bad our preseason is, I'm thinking we're going to win the whole league, and that's how I feel until reality hits. But let's hope that let's just hope that dream comes true. And Colin, what did you think about the preseason? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I don't know if I would give it a B like you did. I might be like a high C+, but there's still time to improve. I mean, it's not over. But I mean, I would be happy if we got a striker in, a backup striker, or possibly the Kane replacement if he is to leave. We see all these conflicting reports, and one's obviously we're being fed one bit of info from City and then another story from our camp. But one says that he wants to sign another contract, one says that he's bound and determined to get out this summer. Either way, we need to sign a striker. I think that if we don't sign a striker in this offseason, it's been a waste. Not a waste, but definitely not a good. What are we gonna if we go in with just Son as our only striker? I'm gonna cry. But other than that, everything's been roses. I mean, it looks like Tomiyasu's gonna get done. So we've shored up the defense at least somewhat. We've got Skippy returning in the midfield, so he'll be able to take some of the pressure off Pierre. I mean, things are looking good, and like you said, I do see the similarities with Pochettino. I see Nuno as someone that could put his arm around a player and get the best out of him. Kind of almost be that father figure, mentor. I don't feel like players are going to be as afraid to make errors under Nuno as they were under Mourinho, and so I think we'll see more creativity and see a better team, in my opinion. So C+ so far. Possible for it to go even higher than that.
Right, so I'm going to go in the middle there. So you said B, C+. I'll give it a B-. If we're talking grades, I'll go with B-.
See, we're all close.
B+, B-, C+. Okay. I will say the one thing I am encouraged about Nuno also too, kind of like Poch in a way, not only put his arm around the shoulder, but also be ruthless. If we believe the reports that, he's not like a Ndombele. There's a couple of players that, he's kind of, hey, we need to get out. Then that's also a positive too, because that means now he's not going to be a wet towel. What we say in the States, someone that's soft. He could be a player's manager, but also be tough too. So if you're not going to go through his tough regiment, which is tougher than Jose, because Jose wasn't big on fitness, demanding that, and Nuno is, then this is a good thing for us, because now those players who are not going to put the 110% on that field, who are not going to play for the badge, they're going to sit on the bench if we can't get them out this transfer window. So I think I'm really encouraged by that too, because Pochettino, I know that there were a couple of players that he butt heads with, and it's just like, hey, you're not going to play if you're not going to do it my way.
Yeah, I think so. I certainly see that. I see, if we're talking actual, the football on the pitch, if we're talking on the pitch and Pochettino's the comparisons with Pochettino, there is that there, the pressing and looking at fitness more than Jose Jose did in the past. I mean, Jose was a 30% possession man, looked to hit the counter. As you said, fitness wasn't a priority. It was shape, hit him on the counter. And it worked for Kane and Son in many ways. But so there's that. We see that work rate, but we also see shape. We also see shape as well. And we saw that at Wolves. At Wolves, it wasn't a possession-based game. They pressed, but it wasn't a possession-based game. They had less possession for the majority of Nuno's success. So it'll be a little bit of both. If we're expecting Pochettino's style, 55% possession, 60, that's not going. I don't think that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But in terms of off the pitch as well, Mari, I definitely agree with you. Arm around the shoulder type manager. He's got that charisma. I was unsure of him at first. You know, effectively was sacked by Wolves. Let's face it, effectively was sacked. But I would love to play for him. I would love to play for Nuno. He's got that sort of charisma in his press conferences, and that can only be a good sign. And the defense is, without a shadow of a doubt, our weakness. We can all agree on that. And if Tomiyasu goes through, we've got Romero. That is without a shadow of a doubt our weakness. And the good thing about Nuno is his 4 years at Wolves, never signed a single centre back. He played 3 centre backs. He never signed a centre back. So he turned average centre backs and defensive midfielders into quality ones. And if he can sort out this defensive line with the addition of defenders we've got, then there's a hell of a lot to look forward to.
I will say this before we get to Colin. I fell out my chair, almost jizzed in my pants. Davinson Sanchez pinged 2 passes in that. I was just like, what? Davinson Sanchez?
Where have you been hiding that, sir?
I'm like, if Nuno can do a miracle, if he can make him a better version of Connor Cody, then, because I'm thinking we need, I know Teriyasu is still, close to becoming our player, but I still feel we need more. But if he could do wonders with Sanchez, that would be amazing.
Daniel Levy would be so happy because of that 40 or 50 mil or whatever we spent on him would be finally showing some good on the pitch. Because damn, that was a big transfer fee at the time for a player from Ajax too, a defender. I thought that was weird at the time, but Poch must have saw something in him. Yep. And I mean, we all could see it. He's a good defender at times, great defender at times. I think that he's definitely our strongest defender, and if they can just iron out the mental lapses he seems to have, he'll be that 40, $50 million player we signed. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hopeful too. And I think that Nuno will be, it seems like he's going to foster like a different sort of dressing room atmosphere. And I think the players are going to, like Tommy said, you said you wanted to play for him. And I think the players will too. I think he's one of those managers that you would die for, do anything they asked, and we need that. The players have given up on the manager like twice in a row now, and we can't have that. And I mean, that's down to the players also, and so I hope they're doing a good job behind the scenes and weeding that out and getting rid of those guys. But I'm excited for a manager that the players can get behind and the fans can get behind, and there won't be so much division. Even when Mourinho came in, there was division. Half the fan base was happy. Half the fan base didn't want him anywhere near our club and knew that it would end in the disaster that it did. And even though everyone wasn't like hype and wasn't jazzed about Nuno, at least he doesn't carry with him that divisiveness.
Yeah, and that's the encouraging thing I'm looking at, because it took a while for him to grow on me, but now I'm like, like I said, I kind of feel like a Poch type of feeling.
Yeah, I want him to be like my dad or my grandpa or something. I'm like, all right, he just seems like weird. Yeah.
You want him around the table at Christmas, as Kevin Murray said. You want him around the table at Christmas. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he's still there. I'm sure he will be. So
the question, going back to our transfer, clearly we still got some work to be done down the line. And I just saw the Romano interview with Last Word on Spurs. Now they have a stream on YouTube on their channel, and so I just saw the interview there, and so there are some needs that we need, and there's a couple positions I think we should clearly need. I would say 4, but it's gonna be impossible to do 4. I'm gonna be realistic. 2 or 3, but would love to have 3. Another center back, a right back, and either or a striker or another center mid, because of just Tanguy Ndombele. I am just so discouraged about him, and so now their names Aurier from Lyon is still a name that has popped up, and Romano has popped up.
Zakaria, have you seen those?
Zakaria, I would so love. I know he was hurt. I would so love Zakaria. He is a baller. I would do a swap deal and extra 10 million for Zakaria.
With Ndombele?
Well, yeah, I would. I am done with Ndombele. I am done for various reasons.
Did you see the pictures today? He looked quite fit. Everyone's having a go saying he's got a bit of a belly on him. He looked quite fit, to be fair.
Did he? Okay, well that's encouraging.
Very trim. Very trim.
Do you think him having that captain badge and just joking around, did you think it was disrespectful? I thought it was a little bit disrespectful. I don't know. Maybe it might.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the images. Let me get on to Reddit right now and see if I can find what everyone's talking about.
If he wasn't smiling, maybe, but the fact that he was smiling, it was clear that he was, he was joshing about. But he's the one player that doesn't need to be joshing about. He is the one player in the squad that doesn't need to be joshing about. He needs to be serious because he hasn't appeared in any of our preseason games. The one player that did, he was the one player that did, because his fitness issues have been a problem for the last 2 years. It was a problem with Pochettino. We signed him for £60 million. But he had a couple
do you think it really was a problem with Mourinho, or did Mourinho just pick him as like the scapegoat Pogba type player? I wonder how much of a problem he actually had under Mourinho.
I think it was definitely a problem, because even when Mason come in, he played in the first game under Mason against Southampton. We didn't see him again. We saw him the last 10 minutes for a couple of the games. I think Mason was still there for 6-7 games. So the last 10 minutes for a lot of the games. And there's serious issues with Ndombele's fitness. And France too. France chose Sissoko over Ndombele.
That can't be ignored.
They both weren't playing by the end of last season. Sissoko weren't in our team, and Ndombele weren't on our team. They picked Sissoko. So fitness is an issue.
Very good point. Very
remember, we needed Ndombele in that Carabao Cup game. We really needed him to play that game, and we're angry because Mason was playing his boys, but maybe there's a reason that he didn't play Tanguy the rest of the year because of Tanguy being Tanguy.
I think Tanguy. You got Jose Mourinho, one of the arguably like top 3 managers to ever do it, or in our lifetimes, and then he goes from that to Ryan Mason, who's like his exact same age and has no pedigree. I could see him probably not respect it, or showing Mason a ton of respect or training particularly hard for him. That wouldn't surprise me, and I don't mean that in like a. I'm just saying maybe I might even do the same thing. It would be hard not to. It would be hard to show somebody the same amount of they sack this world-class manager and then they throw in this kid you've never heard of. It makes sense maybe that you wouldn't. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that I can understand it a little bit.
Yeah. So Wayne Bonner, going back to Zakaria, brings up a good point. I think that Zakaria has either 1 or 2 years left on his contract. What position? What type of player? It's 1 year left on his contract. What type of player he is? From what I have seen of him playing, and just looking back at all his footage, I think he could be that box to box, kind of like for like with Ndombele. He's a pretty good tackler. He definitely is good on the ball and advancing. I wouldn't say he's a number. I wouldn't say he could play up the middle. I wouldn't say that he would be a number 10, but I would definitely say that he is a good box-to-box player, in my opinion, or he can be in the Nuno system. Put him alongside. Well, see, this is the tough thing. and we may have to talk about this, that where we think the final, are going to play 3 in the back or 4, because it all really depends on how our midfield is going to be set up. Would it be, Zakaria, Lo Celso, and Højbjerg? Would it be Skip, Zakaria, and Højbjerg? It depends. What do you think, Tommy?
Well, from what I've seen of Zakaria, I don't watch a great deal of Bundesliga. Out of the top European leagues, is probably the one I least follow. But I've seen him a fair few times, and from the word on the street, he's more of a defensive midfielder. But he looks like he's got all the traits where he can pretty much do anything. So he can do that box-to-box role, which we need next to Højbjerg. We don't really need another defensive midfielder, do we? But so to answer Wayne Bonner's questions, great to see you on the stream, Wayne, Scott. We see you on a lot of other streams. So yeah, welcome, chaps. So yeah, that's what I get from Zakaria, more of a defensive midfielder. There's a problem with his injuries. He does pick up a lot of injuries over the years. But you mentioned Ndombele, and I think that's a very good point when you're talking about Zakaria. I only get Zakaria in if we move Ndombele out, or we've got loads of centre mids. If you've got Ndombele, Lo Celso, and Skip, and Zakaria, that means Skip's not going to get any game time. I want Skip to get game time.
You don't think Skip's going to spell Højbjerg at all? I think that Skip will see some time as the holding mid or the defensive-minded mid in a Nuno midfield, but not all of his time, of course. But I think
he could be first team. I think by the end of the season, he could be one of the first names on the team sheet for next season, 22-23. I think he's that good. And by the end of this season, I hope that's the case. So I wouldn't get Zakaria in unless we could get rid of an Ndombele or Lo Celso. But we just 18 days to the end of the window. Like anything can happen. But from what I've seen of Zakaria, he is outstanding. Very, very agile. Can move. Can control the ball, can take the ball and release the ball in very small spaces.
He was one of the players that we were linked with before. I mean, whenever we were looking for that Dembele replacement to begin with, he was one of the players that was mentioned. And so I'm excited. Basically that's why I'm so in love with Ndombele, is because I want Moussa Dembele back. Like, I really miss what he provided, and I think that a lot of what he did, I know that it didn't go unnoticed, obviously, but the importance of it, I don't think was noticed until he was gone. We looked so static. We have such a hard time connecting the defense to the offense, to our offensive players. It just doesn't really. He
was very underrated, wasn't he?
He was until he left, and now that he's gone, right? It's apparent, and I was hoping, and I still hope that Tanguy can be that. I think that he has the ability to, but we've yet to see him consistently show that he can do it for Spurs.
Okay.
I'm not surprised. Well, just one more thing on Zakaria. Wayne, I'm not sure if you watched, the Euros in full or whatever, but Switzerland were there, and he wasn't on the pitch for Switzerland. He was on the bench for most of the Euros. That may have something to do with injuries too, and I reckon that's probably why he's still at Mönchengladbach. The fact I think the injuries are a big thing, are a big problem. But when he's on the pitch, he looks almost world class. He's that good.
Do we need a player with injuries though? Our injury, record in our medical team.
Dembele was the same though, wasn't he? That's probably what held Dembele back as well. He had
those hips. Yeah, man. He wouldn't probably not been at Spurs had he not had those injury problems.
But what as you said, what a beautiful player. Just used to glide. I remember seeing him live a few times. Just glide, phenomenal.
I have his autograph and I cherish it. Like, it's one of my most.
Oh really? Oh mate. That's amazing. I tell you what, Dembele made a huge difference to Dele Alli, because he used to bring three opposition players towards him. Dele Alli would have
move into that space,
move up a space
for whoever to pass it to him. It wasn't always a straight pass from Dembele. Maybe he'd move it to the side and then they'll find Dele Alli. But he brought defenders to him. Another reason why Dele Alli's probably suffered in the last few years. Dembele is very, very underrated, and we've seen since he's left. We really have.
We've been hurting.
Players have no idea. It seems it really does seem like they can't figure out how to connect from our defenders to our forward players. There's just this. It's like this impossible task. I don't know. I see other teams do it, and now I see that we moved most of our play to the wings, and we try to progress the ball from wide areas. But I mean, it's nice to have versatility, and with Dembele, we could just plow straight through the middle if we needed to. Whereas we're now that's not really an option. And I mean, Sissoko played that role for a while in a completely different way. He would get the ball and just charge forward and speed and muscle his way through instead of speed and dancing his way through like Dembele did. But now that Sissoko's legs are gone, he can't do that anymore, and so we're just in desperate need of that player that could progress the ball. We've got, and I think Gio could be that.
Sissoko's legs have gone. I hope his Spurs career is gone as well. I do not want to see him play.
Well, I just don't. He's got so much. People talk about how much he's got like so much influence in the dressing room, and
toxic.
Yeah, and if he's unhappy, then I don't want him there because I don't want that influence, rubbing off onto others in the dressing room.
Absolutely, I agree.
So I posed this question before we go to the next topic. So it's September 1st. What would you be happy with the remaining transfer window if what we bring in? Start with Tommy.
Right, realistically, I think we certainly, if we're playing 4 at the back, it looks like we're playing 4 at the back. The first all preseason games we played 4 at the back. So I would say right back is essential now. A right back is essential now. Doherty, we know, can't play right back. It would have been nice to see him right wing back because he'd done so well. Nuno and Wolves playing there. He really struggled at right back. So, and Aurier, we don't know what's happening with Aurier. Another toxic player. We need to move Aurier on.
Publicly said he wants to go.
And don't get me wrong, I'm one of Tanganga's biggest fans. People that see my streams and you chaps here will know that I'm one of Tanganga's biggest fans. But people are getting going a little bit over the top with his performance against Arsenal. It was one game and Arsenal are hopeless. And don't get me wrong, so I think Tanganga's best position is still centre back. He was very good at right back, but people are going crazy about him at right back.
Well, he can only play right back because he's young, and that allows him to have some pace. But as he ages, he's not a fast player.
Even now, yeah, he doesn't have that explosive pace that you see for modern fullbacks.
And the only pace that he does have, like is said, is due to his youth. And as he ages, that's going to go. We all saw with Dyer. Dyer bombed up the left side and had that goal against West Ham, I think, on his debut. He doesn't run like that anymore. He's gotten bulkier and older, and he doesn't have that youthfulness to run. And I feel like once Tanganga loses that, then he's can't play right back even to the degree he can now. I don't think it's worth it to train him there and to get him used to that position when it's not his future.
It's very true. Very, very true. So I'd say right back. Before it, I'll go right back, right wing, and backup striker. We should have had a backup striker a long time ago. That's one of the biggest problems. That's one of the biggest issues. There are so many backup strikers available, and with Kane up top, you can still get an older striker. You get an older striker for £4 or £5 million, £10 million. It was an absolute priority because you can't put Scarlett there. You can't have Scarlett as your only backup. It'd be nice to see him in a Conference League and maybe as the season progresses, get a few appearances in the Premier League. But as Colin said, we need a backup striker, absolutely essential. So that needs to happen, regardless of whether we sell Kane. If we sell Kane, we need 2 strikers. So the right winger. Right winger, we haven't got a right winger now. We sold Lamela, we just got Lucas on the right hand side. Okay, Bergwijn can play there, but I don't think Lucas and Bergwijn will be in a top 4 team if you just have those on the right wing, and they're not going to replace Bale's goals either. So right wing, right back, and striker. You have to get a backup striker in first. That's essential.
I hope we didn't have too many eggs in the Lautaro Martinez basket, and that that Lukaku transfer has derailed it. I hope that Paratici is true to his reputation and had other players lined up. Man, what's the name of the chap from Fiorentina?
Oh, Vlahovic.
Yeah.
I think that he would be a risk, but one that could really pay off. I feel like he would be a great pickup. Especially if Kane sticks around another year, he can learn and watch his movements and watch the runs that he makes. And I think that he could learn a lot from Kane. He wouldn't be a bad player to pick up as that backup striker at all. I know that he wouldn't be cheap. He wouldn't come super cheap, but also I think the price was reasonable from what I had heard. Right? Do you guys remember? Do you guys have like in your head? Do you remember a number that they quoted for him?
Vlahovic, apparently they were saying like £50 million.
50,
Oh,
yeah. 40 to
50.
50.
For some reason, I was thinking it was more like 25. Okay, well then.
No.
Oh, no.
Because he's 21. I think because he's
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Yeah.
That's why he's worth so much.
Oh.
That sucks because that's also the risk. That's where the risk lies. I mean, he had one good season as a 21-year-old. But sorry, Mari, to answer your question, I really kind of went off on a tangent there. We do need a backup striker for sure. And I think that we need to invest in. It wouldn't be a bad thing to invest in a player this summer that can challenge Kane, even if Kane stays, because we know Kane's leaving. If he signs a new contract, we know that there's going to be an exit clause, a way for him to get out, and that'll more than likely be next summer. And I think it would just be nice to have extra time to blood in the guy that we expect to carry on what Kane has been doing for the team. We can't expect someone to come in one summer, I think, and be that guy for us. So I think if we brought in the striker in this window, kept Kane, let them compete for time, that would be the best thing for Spurs going forward. Do I think that'll happen? Maybe. I think this is the summer to spend. I mean, if there's all kinds of teams that are hurting because of COVID. Barcelona and Madrid both can't spend money, really. That's not going to happen really ever again. So if Levy's got money saved up, or if there's money from somewhere, now is the time to spend it, because I think this summer represents a really weird time. That's not going to happen again. Like, the transfer market's going to go back to being super inflated. Every team's going to be spending big as soon as that revenue starts coming back that they've lost. And we really could leapfrog some teams if we spent now. And
that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I haven't thought about that. I'm too into who's in debt, who's not in debt, and the majority of the clubs are in debt. But yeah, because we're going to be competing with them boys when they get their finances sorted, when they get their finances in line.
Especially in the year that
very, very true.
Especially in the year where everybody returns back to the stadium, teams are going to start making profits again and stuff. So let me read some of the comments, because we're getting a bunch of comments, good ones too. Scott says, assuming Kane stays September 1st, at the minimum, we need center back, right back, right wing, and striker. I will also say a CM, but central mid, but not as necessary. Okay. I agree with all of them. If we needed a three, like I said, it would be the center back, right back, and a center mid. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Wayne Bonner says right back, like everybody says, right back, center back, striker. I like the look of Lavinier for the future. I would agree with that. I also like Cisse. That's another guy I like.
What about Plastowski? The Plastowski looked fantastic. That boy.
He did fantastic.
Brilliant.
Wait, is that the Russian fellow? He plays in the Russian
something
league.
Like that. Yeah, probably. He probably did. We probably signed. I know he's Estonian, and he's had like 5-6 caps.
Okay. No, wait. This is sorry. This is a Spurs player already. One of our youth players. Is that your,
It was in the 2 games.
Yeah.
The 2 opening games.
For some reason, I was thinking of the young right winger from the Russian league that we've been linked with recently. That's right.
I see.
The guy whose name is impossible to pronounce.
Yeah, we've probably got his name wrong. That Plastowski, we've probably got his name wrong. That's probably what sent you on that tangent. But yeah, I mean, for some reason we're always linked with the most impossible names to pronounce.
And it took me
3 years. It took me 3 years to pronounce Alderweireld, and I'm still struggling. It took me 3 years. I'm just glad he's gone. I'm just glad he's gone for that reason alone.
I just call him Toby. Tanganga is a beast, but he is wasted. We all agree at right back. He belongs to be a center back. Absolutely agree, Wayne. Thank you, Scott and Wayne. And then Kevin says he's young, Tanganga, but he could move into center back, anyone but Dyer. I 100% agree.
And that's why I don't think we need a centre back, because we've got Tanganga and Rodon with Romero. That's why I don't think we need a centre back priority.
If Sanchez stays, he could be an option there too. But it looks like he's going.
Southampton, if you're serious about Eric Dyer, please get Eric Dyer, please, Southampton.
And they could be because it looks like they're on the verge of signing. No. Yeah, they're losing Vestergaard, aren't they, to Leicester? Apparently, Leicester are signing Vestergaard because Fofana, Leicester's centre back Fofana,
done.
outstanding,
It's
got
done.
injured
I
for
heard
the
it's
season. Yeah, exactly. So that opens up
Did you
Southampton
see how
looking at a
cheap
centre back.
Vestergaard's going for?
15
million. Is that
yeah.
injury? Is
And
that
then,
a contract thing?
Milinkovic went really cheap too. Or Milinkovic, like those are two players that we were, I'm excited that we went for the big expensive center back instead of the budget options. That's something I don't think would have maybe happened in the past.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Scott says I would set up a player like Jesus that could be our starting right winger and a backup striker if it meant bringing in a starting mid. Jesus will only be available. Now, I would love it if we only sell Kane. And if I was selling Kane,
I still don't think he'll be available. This is the only striker. Gabriel, that is Man City's only striker right now. Jesus.
Yeah. And would he ever agree to come to Spurs? Probably not.
No, he won't. What's Bergwijn's situation? Where does he fit? He's gonna stay. And I saw the interview with Romano. Nuno really thinks he can really save Bergwijn's career, really do good. Ajax brought a solid 20 to 25 mil offer, and we told them no, like a solid offer. I think if Nuno wasn't there, Fabrizio Romano would say, if Nuno wasn't there, we would have taken that deal. But because Nuno's there, he believed he can do work with Bergwijn. So right now the situation is he's going to stay. Will the stadiums be full capacity this season? As last time I checked, the stadiums are going to be packed, which is a good thing. I'm going to pronounce the brother's name correctly. Ishak Tafadar. I apologize.
I think you've done that good, man. I think you've done that good.
Braver than me. I wouldn't have even.
I always want to pronounce someone's name right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ishak says, "What do you guys think of the structure of the Romero deal? With it be a loan with an option to buy him permanently?" I love the way it's structured because we don't give up money, huge chunk of money up front, and we get an extra year of Romero. I think it is an excellent deal. That's a great question. Thank you, Ishak. Scott says Patowski looked real good against League One talent and is a hope for the future, but not ready. That's a good question. Not sure if he's ready for the senior team.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, but
a good loan though would be awesome for him.
Future, definitely. The future looks bright for him.
Ishak says we do need a center back. We definitely all agree. And Wayne Barnes, I would like an experienced center back to help with the younger defenders. And then we're going to get to our predictions. Wayne, I love this question. I want to get you guys a quick opinion on this player because he's still available. What about Jerome Boateng?
Yeah, no, he's good. It's good.
That actually is a really good shout.
He's on a free to have him paired with Romero.
Yeah, he'd be the old head, the old
Yeah. Very experienced, and he's the type of player, if we want to have top 4 aspirations, that he could kind of be that catapult. I don't think people appreciate what Silva
did for Chelsea.
Did for Chelsea on that team. He seems very old and washed up, but in some of the big games, he actually stepped up and he brought that calming presence. So I think Jerome Boateng, with all that experience that he has, I think Jerome Boateng will be a good, cheap, on and free signing. He's still available. He is still available.
I think that would be awesome. And we saw in the Euros how much age doesn't really matter as a center back as long as you are good positionally.
Absolutely.
If you've got elite positioning, you can play. I mean, they had us in Bonucci and who's the other guy? Sorry, I'm dumb.
Chiellini. I was looking at.
They played out of their mind.
Absolutely. I was looking at centre-back transfers. I've done a sort of tier list. I've done a tier list of potential signings towards the end of last season. And Chiellini and Bonucci were there. Well, Bonucci was, but obviously since the Euros, he's not going to be available. And Hummels, because for that very reason, is a very good point by Wayne Bonner. Get an experienced centre-back next to the rest of the boys. Now Toby's gone as well. We don't really have that experience there. But again, if we're playing two at the back, then we will need to get rid of a player before we get Boateng in, because we will have Rodon, Dyer, Sanchez, Romero. We'll have too many centre backs.
I'm hoping that deal with Sanchez to go to Sevilla, was it? I'm hoping that is more advanced than we've been told.
I bloody hope so. I hope Dyer would go first, but it doesn't look like anybody's in for Dyer.
He just has less value. He's not as teams.
And he's the golden boy. He's the golden boy. The managers love him. All managers love him for some reason. So
Portuguese managers, especially.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he's staying around, and my money's on 4 days' time, he's starting against City. Okay. As hard as it is to get my mind around, I think
I'll agree with you. I mean, who else? He's our most experienced center back now. I think you could say probably with Toby gone, and I expect Romero to start, and so I would say the two of them will probably be together. And I think that Dyer speaks Spanish to at least enough that he can speak it on the pitch, and so that'll help with him pairing with. But I mean, Sanchez obviously speaks Spanish too, so that'll be good though. I hadn't thought of that until now. That it's cool that we've got some Spanish-speaking players that he could play with. I always think that really, really helps, especially with center backs who need to communicate so often.
So my next question is, and I'll say it like this: what three players you think is going to shine, or who you would like to shine, and one player you think is just not going to cut it? Like, they will survive, the transfer market. They won't be sold, but they won't, they won't produce for our team this year. So who are the three players that you can either want to see shine this year, or you think is definitely going to shine, and the one who's going to fail? Of course, in this question, we won't say Harry Kane or Son because they're already finished product. We know that they're going to show up. So it could be basically anybody else. You may think Højbjerg's already polished, but maybe has an extra gear. So I posed that question. Colin first.
Awesome. Yeah. So this season is going to be an interesting one, and it really all hinges on if Kane leaves or not. But I do think that Sonny's going to explode. I think that Sonny's going to make that leap. We all think, or at least a lot of Spurs fans do, that he's world class. I think that he's going to make that jump into like actual world class without a doubt. This seems like his season. I like where his head's at. He seems in all the interviews like he's very happy to be here. And I think with a manager like Nuno and the type of football he plays, I think that'll suit Son. And I think Son's going to get close to 20 goals, maybe close to 20 goals this season. So I expect Sonny to have a great season. I expect that's a good shout. You said Pierre. We haven't seen a whole lot offensively from Pierre, but then we watched the Euros and we saw that he's got some offensive output. And of course, Christian Eriksen and his very unfortunate heart condition problem meant Pierre had to step up and be more creative, but he can do it, and that's awesome. And so I hope that's something that we get to see him do in a Spurs shirt. And Tanganga. I think if Tanganga gets game time, I'm going to go with 4. Man, I think Tanganga and Scarlett are both going to surprise a lot of people. I don't expect Scarlett to be Wayne Rooney and be dominating and doing super well in the Premier League at 16, 17 or whatever, but I think that he'll surprise some people and he'll do very well in at least the early stages of the Europa Conference League. And Tanganga, if he gets time, will continue to shine and continue to impress. But I think Winks will somehow survive the axe, and I think he'll get a decent amount of playing time. Nuno seems to like him, and I think that we'll be saying the same thing. It's just about how we wish we'd gotten rid of him and how he's not quite holding up.
All right, Tommy, you're three people.
Right. Some of these may be controversial. So we're looking at players sort of on the borderline. We're looking at players that sort of on the borderline. Can they be, I don't know, more successful than they currently are, or less so?
Whoops, I might have misinterpreted the question.
No, it was good. It was a good response.
So basically, what I'd say, in terms of players that I think will be unbelievably successful. I know you said we can't mention Sonny, but I think this is going to be Sonny's best season ever. I think he's gonna go on and just he's gonna go on and beat his former records. I mean, he's the best left winger in the Prem. I don't care what anybody says. That's not being a biased Spurs fan. That's because Mane's form's dipped. Mane's form's dipped now. So for me, 100%, Son's the best left winger in the Premier League. I think he's gonna either up his numbers, assisting, goal scoring, if he stays fit. Of course. I think it was a big problem last year when Chelsea was playing him in Europe on a Thursday, Sunday. A month before he got injured, which looked inevitable that he was going to get injured because he was playing all the time. He really was terrible as well, and he wasn't the same when he came back either. He just played too many games. You can't do that as a winger. It's not like Højbjerg in defensive midfielder. You need to be fresh as a winger. I think
you need that explosiveness, and you lose that if you're not.
And we got more backup on the left now to go in there, Sessegnon, Hill. So it looks like he won't have to play every game in Europe too. So I think Son's going to absolutely blow up this season and have his best season yet. Now, I'll get to Hill. I'm not impressed by the sign. I wasn't impressed by the sign from the start, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to cut it. I think he's going to be another Nkodu. I think he's going to be another Clinton NG. The amount of wingers we've signed. I mean, NG was going to be the next best French winger. We signed him for, 10 million pounds, 15 million pounds. I'm not convinced. He scored 4 goals for Eibar and played 10 games for Atletico Madrid, and people going, no, was it Atletico Madrid? Was it? No, Sevilla. He's played 10 games for Sevilla, scored 4 goals for Eibar last season. I think people going way over the top with him. I don't think he's going to do anything, if I'm perfectly honest. I don't think he's going to do anything. He's going to be in that winger. He's going to be in that winger category we've had over the years. There's more. There's another one. I can't remember. There's another winger that fouled miserably recently. Well, Sessegnon has fouled, hasn't he? He was supposed to be. He cost 20 million pounds, Sessegnon, and he fouled in his first season. And he went back on loan. He's back now. Hopefully, he does well.
It's weird to think that Chadley has been one of our best signings at winger in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of shocking.
Absolutely. So for Deadwood. So I think he'll not Deadwood, but I think he's not going to live up to any expectations whatsoever. Dele's gone. I think Dele Alli's gone. I think he's going to be probably even worse than he has been for the last 2 or 3 years. Dyer as well. I've got no confidence in Dyer. There's no strength to his game. His positioning's gone. He's not
improving. That's the thing. You know what I mean? It'd be cool if we saw any improvement or if we saw him iron out problems, but it's just the same shit all the time.
He can't clear a header. His accuracy heading is just awful. I have no trust in him. So those 3 are the ones that are going to fail. In terms of succeeding, as I said, Son's going to blow up. Lo Celso, I think, could have a really good season. I think Lo Celso could have a really, really good season. I think the Copa America, starting every game, really done him good. And I know, Mario, you're a big Argentina fan, so you've probably seen a lot of him in the Copa America.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're first team for Argentina, doesn't matter what generation, as an attacking player, the last 30 years, you have to be a serious player. So the fact that he's in there in the Argentina squad, I think he could have a really, really good season. Sanchez as well. We talked about Sanchez. I said this before. I think if there's somebody that can transform him, Nuno's work with centre backs is very good. I think Sanchez could be not great, but I think he could be better than he has been over the last few years. So I think we'll see maybe a different Sanchez. Dyer have no confidence. Dele Alli, no confidence. Aurier, no confidence. But just one name I want to mention because somebody put in the chat. Now, Reggie, nobody has talked about a left back. Over the last few months, nobody's talked about Davis and Reggie. Everyone thought Davis was gone. Reggie's there. This is a big season for Reggie. This is a big season for Reggie.
I agree. 100%.
Because he's shown so many defensive issues. He can't defend in many ways, but he's so unbelievable attacking. Not just explosive, but his crosses. He gets a curl on the ball. And he's explosive. I think he can do anything he wants to at left back. Big season for Reggie on that left-hand side.
He just needs to get some consistency for sure.
It's sort of swept under the carpet. Everyone's talking about right back, but left back's very, very important too. But I think Lo Celso is going to be the big surprise this season. I think he'll come back and do some damage.
Speaking on left back though, do you think that we will see any of Sessegnon at left back?
We have to.
I hope not. He's a left winger.
We have so many games.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him at least tried there with the first
Conference
team.
League and Cups. I think he's going to play the left back. We're thinking alike, Tommy. I'm gonna say it. if there was an award in the Premier League for most improved player, I think that award is going to go to Gio Lo Celso. I think he is going to have a big year. I think he is going to not completely replace the goals that were missing from Gareth Bale, but I will, and you can criticize me if I'm wrong, Leon. I think he could hit over 5 goals. I think he could hit 8 to 9 goals this year in the Premier League.
He played as a striker, yeah.
And he will have minimum 10 assists. I think he is going to explode this year because of Nuno. People forget where his previous team, which, oh my goodness, is
Real Betis.
Yes, and how they used him,
wasn't he?
And he was all world. I think because remember he didn't work that long with Poch. He didn't work that long, so the wrong coach for him. And he did okay job, getting those great tackles, playing defensive under Jose. But I really think he is licking his chops.
He probably sees that right wing position as his.
With Nuno, I think Lo Celso is going to blow up. A second player I think who's going to shine this year is Rodon. I think having that badass Romero on his team, with him, I'm telling you now, Rodon is going to. He may make a few mistakes, but by the end of the season, Rodon is going to be. He's going to be loved by everybody. Rodon is going to ball. And then the third person, I was debating on this. So I've been tough on Reguilón. And then the Arsenal game, I was like, oh wow, this is the Reguilón, because I thought he was playing like shit at the end of the last season, and coming into preseason, I'm like, dude, are you deer lost in headlights? I think he's gonna have a good year, but I think Bryan Gil, by the end of the year, people are going to love what this guy can do. I think he's going to maybe at max have 2 goals, but he's going to create up the middle. I really think he's going to end up being used a lot up the middle. Like I said, I just saw him in the Olympics. This guy, he is going to make Sonny happy. He's going to make Kane happy. So I think those are my 3 players that I think who are going to shine. The player who I think is going to fail and who's going to stay with our club, unfortunately, is Winks. I think he is going to be phased out, and I think he may be sold in the January window. The January window.
It's actually very plausible. I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
A team maybe suffers an injury to one of their midfielders and picks him up for cover.
There are a lot of teams interested. With Winks. Yeah. He's got a very good reputation behind the scenes.
Yeah, like sort of like Dyer does.
Yeah. But I mean, I went Hotspur way. I spent a lot of time at Hotspur way, and everyone was talking about Winks more than they were talking about Kane in terms of his technical ability. Technically, he is very good, but he's got so much baggage now. Winks. Skip just looks like a better version, younger version. So. Yeah, if we could get the £20 million for Winks, then you got to take it. But as Murray said, I think he's staying put for now. Yeah. Maybe January. Yeah, January could be big for us as well. January could be a very, very big window for. I know we're still in the summer one, but January could be very big as well.
And now that we have,
sorry, go ahead. My bad, man.
No, it's just now that we have Paratici and not Steve Hitchen, who hates January windows. Now we may be a player in January.
Yeah, and I think we could still take advantage of this thing we're seeing where everybody's sort of hamstringed by COVID and their budgets and stuff. And if we play things right, I know that Daniel restructured that loan or whatever, and that gave us some money to play with, freed up some money. I'm just hoping that we can just be as shrewd as possible during this time of economic uncertainty, because we don't have the financial backing to play with these other teams, but we can if we do it wisely. We can sneak in there and compete if we take advantage of times like this. So
So some of the comments, Scott says, "LOL. I think that question is easier to answer if you reverse the number of guys on each side." Yes. 3 to shine. Gio Lo Celso, yep, like everybody else. Reguilon and Tanganga. 1 to stick, but struggle. Aurier. So if Aurier is not sold, he may be, Aurier is Aurier. He'll give you 1 good game, and then 2 games, you're like, what the, what is this? So yeah, I totally agree, Scott. 100% agree. Hoiberg for captain. He's gonna get it eventually when Lloris is gone. Lo Celso. Yep, I agree. Kevin Murray.
Cody Mack, the Mac Daddy himself.
What up, Cody?
What up, gentlemen?
All the American boys are out to play. American and Canadian boys are out to play. I've got to make sure I get that right.
That's American.
What's the time over there, boys? What's the time over there?
It is
like 8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock. And we're up to our last question. Kevin Murray said, Dele Alli brings nothing to the table. I agree. This is our last question. This is the one that's the most fun. Tottenham predictions and where we will finish. Will Nuno even last as our coach? Will Paratici still be our director of football at the end of the year? I mean, it is Spurs. We just never know. Who is in your top 4? Champions League, who's going to win it? Which 2 teams do you think will make it to the final, or who's going to win it? Who's going to win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, and I put etc. like Ballon d'Or or bottom 3 if you want to. I mean, if you have it in your mind of those predictions, but I just put those predictions as a cursor for us in answering. So we'll start with Tommy this time. Your predictions for Tottenham, and do we finish top 4, top 6, top 10?
I personally think Merseyside's got weaker. I think Liverpool and Everton have got weaker, and that suits us. I think losing Ancelotti and bringing in Benitez, I think is a problem. Both good managers, but Ancelotti's record is magnificent. They lose him to Real Madrid. They bring Rafa in. He was at Newcastle before. I think Everton are going to be weaker. They brought Andros Townsend in. That's the only business I've really seen. They brought Andros Townsend in. Who's convinced by that. So I think Everton will be less competitive. Liverpool still haven't pulled up trees. I think they're going to put a lot of reliance in their youth, because they've got Harvey Elliott coming through. They've got Curtis Jones. They're not signing centre mids since they lost Wijnaldum. They're not signing centre mids. So I feel like we can fight for the top 4. I feel like we can fight for the top 4 because Liverpool are not as strong. Chelsea, Man United, Man City, magnificent. We've seen what Man United, they finished runners-up last season. They've added Sancho and Varane by the looks of it. So they're going to be difficult. So I think we can sneak into the top 4. But either way, I think we'll get top 6. I really do. I think 5th. I think we could finish 5th. But I wouldn't be surprised if we nipped in there, finish 4th. We signed a couple of good players by the end of this window. A couple of good players. I wouldn't be surprised. And that's not me being optimistic. That's me being a realist. I think honestly, I think we can do that.
Okay.
You want me to answer all of these in one go? Champions League.
Yeah.
So this is the Champions. Who's going to make the Champions League final?
Yeah. Oh, who wins it? Who wins it all?
Right. So this is what I want to say. I want to say who makes the final first. I want Man City and Paris Saint-Germain to win the final.
They have to be.
Because I want one of them to carry on crying that they haven't won it. I want one of them to carry on crying that they haven't won it, and to lose that final would be heartbreaking for them. So I don't know who I'd rather win out of Man City and Paris Saint-Germain. One thing I will say, though, watching Paris Saint-Germain is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I probably want PSG to win for Poch.
Potentially. Yeah. No, that's a good shout. But Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, I mean, doesn't get better than that, does it? It doesn't get better than that. So, yeah, saying that, I probably want PSG with the Pochettino, and I think they'll possibly win it. I hope they take Man City out in the final. That'd be great. That'd be absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
What was the last part of that? There was one more bit. Oh, the domestic trophies. The domestic trophy. This is what we need to do. I would like another run in the domestic cups. Not the Carabao Cup, because it's a little bit Mickey Mouse for me. It doesn't really matter. But FA Cup. I want to do some damage in the FA Cup. I really, really do. I want us. Yeah, we can. We've got to be confident. I think quarterfinals.
We've got the squad.
Once you get in the quarterfinals, I mean, it doesn't start till January, does it? The FA Cup. It doesn't start till January. It doesn't get going till January for us.
Historically, that's where it hit our stride too. Is right after the Christmas period.
Yeah, not last year. It was the opposite last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, but before the years prior,
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think it's about time you get a domestic, any sort of cup, to be honest with you. But I think get to the quarterfinals in the FA Cup, get to the quarterfinals, and then I think we can get semis, we can get to the final and potentially win it. That'll be a great season. Even finishing 5th and winning the FA Cup would be an unbelievable season. I think we can sneak into 4th. I think we can sneak in 4th. I think it's going to be tight. I think the domestic cup's going to be shared. I don't think there's going to be like a double or a triple this season like Man City were after last year. I think it will be shared amongst the big teams. Hopefully, we can be one of them because Man United is strong. Chelsea is strong. Champions League defenders. They're going to have a full season under Tuchel with his defensive approach. They're going to be a very, very difficult team to beat. They've got Lukaku now as well. They're going to be a difficult team to beat, Chelsea. They're going to be very difficult.
100% agree. Before I go to Colin, I want to read Cody Mack's statement. He says, wants to watch this season. Reguilón, Skip, Lo Celso, Tanganga. Agree 100%. Ones who are done like dinner. 100% agree. Dele, Suzuki, Daughtry, and Winks. So, yes, I totally agree. We got a new one here. Alejandro Perez. He said, do you lads think we'll put any effort into the Conference League or just send our B League team? Yeah, we forgot the Conference League.
See, I was going to mention that in my prediction.
Yeah, Tommy, how do we do in the Conference League?
I forgot about the Conference League. I still haven't looked at it. I still haven't looked at the teams. I still haven't looked at the rules and regulation, how it's going to work, and all this. I don't even know what channel I'm going to watch it on. I'm going to try and watch it. Obviously, I don't even know what broadcaster it's going to be on. But the disdain towards it last season is sort of gone because we've got so many youth players, and we can chuck the youth players in there. At least we can use it for something. So if we win it, is it really going to make a difference? But I tell you what, there are some good teams in. Roma are there,
and it would be the first. We'd be the first team to ever win it. That would be kind of cool.
It would. Yeah, no, we would be remembered. That would be remembered, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, Roma in the final, Jose, because Roma are there. They finished 7th in Serie A, so
I would love it. I want that more than anything.
Jose in the final.
I want to see his press conference after he loses. God,
but then imagine if he beats us though. It would.
Well, yeah, but I'm used to that. Hey, I'm used to that. I'm used to.
But not by Jose, the guy we sacked. That would be heartbreaking. But
yeah, but after that Sissoko handball, I can take anything, man.
It will be an event though. That will make the Conference League worth it if it's a Spurs Roma. Even if we meet Roma during
pay-per-view.
Yeah, even if we meet Roma during the knockout stages, we can certainly win it.
Your predictions, Colin?
Yeah, I got them. So I think, hear me out, everyone. This is gonna sound shitty. If Kane goes to City, he'll probably end up winning the Ballon d'Or. Is that how you pronounce that? I've never been good at pronouncing that, but I could see him winning it. Yeah. I could see Kane
over Messi.
I mean, if he wins the Champions League, if he goes to City and they win the Champions League.
Well, they would name the trophy before the final of Champions League. It's in January, so
it's a very good point. Well, then completely scratch what I said. Messi's just recently, won with Argentina. Well, then it's Messi for sure. Never mind. I feel silly now. But anyway, City are going to walk the league. Of course, there's no way that City don't win the league, in my opinion. Their B team could probably have a decent chance of winning the league. So City will win the league. I have Tottenham at 4th in my predictions, and I think that's possible. Like Tommy said, for a variety of reasons, I think that's possible. I think we've underperformed to a degree, and I think that even just getting us back on track to the levels that the players that we have can perform at would propel us up the table from where we ended last season. And then of course the addition of Romero and whoever else can only further that. I think we'll go out early in the Carabao Cup, mainly because we will be putting out just youngsters. I I think the Europa Conference League is ours. I have full confidence we'll win that. I think that we'll kind of go hard on that. I expect in the later stages we'll play, our best team possible, and we'll really go all out to win that. I don't know what the prize is. I mean, Europa League the next year. Is that what it is?
Europa, you get the Europa League bid.
Okay, well, we'll hopefully have that by league position. But anyway, a trophy would be awesome. We could just tell everybody. I mean, they'd still make fun of us. There'll be reasons, that it's a small tournament, and you played a team that we've never heard of, but still, it would be great for our players to go and to win something, to reach that final, and then realize that they can make it past that, and it's not some weird brick wall that we can't get through. I think the team needs to win a final, and I think that the Europa Conference League is the one that we could get this year. And yeah, I'd like to see some great domestic cup runs. Those are always fun. I'd say we should probably get to the semis of both, but we'll have to wait and see. That's where I have. I'm less certain because I just don't know what kind of team we're going to put out. I don't know. But yeah, league. I think we'll be fourth. I think City will win, and I think we'll win the Europa Conference League.
Oh, we're going to sneak into fourth, Colin. I like that optimism.
Okay.
I like that optimism, man.
So
Hey, I hope that kills us, man.
Here are my predictions. This is Wednesday. Well, it's Thursday for you, Tommy. Wednesday, August 11th at 8:08 U.S. time, and it is 1:09 in the UK time.
Correct.
We're going to make one or two extra sightings, definitely before September 1st. That will make us a little bit better. What I like about this team, I've said this in some other channels, we are going to be the pests, like Wolves were a pain in the ass with Nuno the last couple of years, and they did great against the top 6 teams. I think we're going to be that pain in the ass. Of course, up top, Manchester City is going to, I think they're going to win comfortably, and Man United, I have them finish in second. I agree with Tommy. I think Liverpool has gotten weaker. The COVID has the financial windfall has really affected them. The owner, what's his name? Gosh, what can I forget his name?
Henry.
Yeah. The Henrys own the Red Sox. They've had to make cutbacks. They sold their player, biggest player for the Red Sox to the Dodgers, because they're trying to be financially responsible. So right now, people wonder why Liverpool's not making all these signings is because they have to really be frugal with their spending. I think Liverpool and Everton are going to drop down, but I also think some teams are going to step up. I think top 7, Aston Villa. I think they make the top 7. Leicester, I love the business that they've been doing, but I think they finish 6. I think West Ham falls back down. And so this is where I get to Tottenham. I think we're going to crack the top 4. We'll be 4th. We'll be 4th in the Premier League. I think we are going to qualify for the Champions League. We'll be 4th. Reason being, we have the best striker in the world. We got the best left winger in the world. The player of the year on our team will be Giovanni Lo Celso. I'm saying it today. Remember this day. Gio Lo Celso, if he's healthy, he will be our most valuable player. He may not score the most goals, but I think he's going to bring the assists, and I think he's going to be our most valuable player to be top 4. The Cups, well, the Conference League, I think we're winning it. Other than Roma, call me cocky. I'm not worried about anybody else. I think it's going to be us and Roma in the final, and we'll pay back Jose by winning the Conference League. The Carabao Cup, I think we get knocked out in the quarters, but I have us winning the FA Cup. I believe, like a great man on another channel, Chris Collins, he says, we're gonna win a trophy. I think this year under Nuno, we're going to win the FA Cup and we'll finish fourth place and qualify for the Champions League. I am very positive about our team this year. Champions League, I have PSG winning it. I have PSG winning it all. I have them playing Atletico. Something about Atletico, they always find their way. I love Diego Simeone and how he prepares for cup tournaments. And so I have Atletico once again losing a final, but just losing PSG. The Ballon d'Or, I have Messi winning his 7th. And then I said we'll win the FA Cup. I'll have City winning the Carabao Cup again. And so my top 4 is Manchester City, United, Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool. And,
I like it.
Me too. I want to see the Liverpool tears.
Yeah, I think Liverpool falls back. I know their fan base will be like, that's ridiculous. They haven't gotten better. They have not gotten better, in my opinion.
And Mohamed Salah is just getting older. They're not.
Yeah.
It's dependent. It's largely dependent on what these youth centre midfielders do. Curtis Jones, they love him at Liverpool. They love this Curtis Jones. And Harvey Elliott has just been ripping up in a championship. He's like 16, 17 years old. We actually missed out on him, and he dissed us, Harvey Elliott. I think it was like a year or a year and a half ago. He was available at Fulham when he was 16. He dissed. He was like, "Nah, I'm not going Spurs."
We got Alfie. We got Alfie.
He's like small club. He was like small club Tottenham, and then Liverpool went in for him and got him, and he looked magnificent.
Wait, that's the guy with the dumb fucking hair, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
He talked shit about Harry Kane.
Yeah, but do you know what? He's a serious baller because he destroyed it in the championship last year at like 17 years old.
Well, I don't want that dumb prick on our team anyways.
So Cody Mack says if we don't buy anyone else, top 6 will be an achievement this year. Our only chance in the EFL or FA Cup would be to get a heavy hitter early and coast to the final where anything can happen. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Conference League.
Cody's more negative than we are, so he would consider himself more realistic. But we'll just say that we're more positive.
I think he would pick top 4 if we make some more signings, because I think he said if we are currently where we at, Conference League will be a slog, but probably our best chance of silverware. And then who is your top CB pair for us as it stands? Romero. I would say Romero right now and Sanchez by default.
I agree. I have to agree. Agree.
But I would, like I said, if we could bring Jerome Boateng as a veteran, I'll be happy.
I expect to see Romero and why can't I think the young Welsh guy Joe Rodon. I think of them as sort of interchangeable. I could see them, you know what I mean, being for switched out depending on the tournament. If we're in the Europa Conference League or if we're playing in the Premier League, I see Rodon as being a similar player to Romero, and so I could see them being switched out for each other. But then that leaves, we really do need that veteran center back. We really, really do. I hope the team sees that as a necessity also.
Scott, awesome post right here. He says, wow, it's a very positive prediction for Spurs. It is. And I say this because, like I said earlier in the stream, it was all doom and gloom. But right now, whatever Spurs is selling, what Nuno is mixing up, I'm buying. I'm buying right now. And it's like I said, if we keep Kane, like I said, because it's not enough time to get a complex deal like this done, and Kane won't down tools. I really think this team is going to get better, and I think now we're gonna have that fire with Nuno. I think the players that we brought in, Romero is not gonna. This guy is not going to cut. He's not going to deal with shit. Højbjerg, It's the same thing, and I think there's some place who are going to step it up. You got Lo Celso, who I think is have a huge year. Skip is like a new signing. Skip, this dude is the man, and so I think we're gonna be better. We're going to be better. Alejandro says 3 Spanish speakers in the back line. Yes, and that's going to be key in regards to communication. So yeah, no, that would be good. That would be good. Reguilón, Sanchez, and Romero. Yeah. And
I think we're in the minority. We're in the minority when we're so optimistic, as a lot of the people in the chat will see, and a lot of people in the Twitter group chat are saying fifth, sixth. So we're probably more optimistic than most. No, it's very close. Much.
Yeah,
I think we can do it. I definitely think we can do it. A lot of pressure on Ramiro. There's a lot of pressure on Ramiro. I mean,
luckily he seems mentally strong. I think
hopefully, because I think he's a terrific player. He's a top player. Probably be our best centre back since Vertonghen. But he's got so much pressure on him. But we'll see what he's made.
Yeah,
we'll see what he's made of.
And Wayne brings up a good point. We'll finish 5th or 6th. If we don't finish 4th, definitely 5th. I like I said, it'll be around that range. He says we'll finish 5th, 6th, and then cup. And like I said, we win a cup. Our fan base will be ecstatic. We win a cup, a trophy. I haven't seen a trophy since 13 years ago, 13, 14 years ago, 2008. So, yeah, it's been a long drought. We need to get a cup in, depending on the rest of our transfer business. Yeah, if we could win the FA Cup, I would be so happy. We were once the team to win FA Cups, and now you have teams like City who are catching up and trying to get more FA Cups than us. I know Arsenal has passed. Arsenal has the most, right? Tommy, Colin? Arsenal has 12 FA Cups?
God knows. I'm not good with numbers. When it comes to trophies, I'm not good with numbers. I sort of put it to the back of my mind with the sort of the emptiness of our trophy cabinet.
But I do know that's the trophy they were winning pretty consistently there for a while.
Oh yeah. I think they won it 3 out of 5 years, something crazy like that.
But
saved Arsene Wenger's job for a while.
But the FA Cup, we used to be, one of the top 3 teams in winning the FA Cup. We have a strong history in winning the FA Cup. So we need to get back to it. We need to win the FA Cup this year. And I think we can win the FA Cup. I forgot to make my prediction for Arsenal. Arsenal gets regulated, and I hate team. All right. Realistically, I think Arsenal finish 12th.
I'm saying 11. 11th for me.
I'm liking this, boys. I'm liking this.
I don't really think they're good at all. I mean, a buggy egg. I mean, what happened to this dude? This guy.
He got a fat contract and decided
that's
he didn't
it.
give a shit.
He's horrible.
And you're right, Colin.
Lacazette can. He can't find the net. I mean, he is. Yeah.
Man, remember we were in for Lacazette? Aren't you glad that didn't happen?
Yeah. And I know, soccer has so much potential, but you're only as good as what you're surrounded by. And what they're surrounded by, the only player that's on their team right now that I will pluck, if I had to pluck a player from their team, Smith Rowe. I like Smith Rowe.
Oh, I'll take Saka. I'll take Saka on the right
what
wing.
What about that Mesut Ozil guy? I heard he was pretty good.
Is he on the team? No, he's gone.
Did they let him go finally? I thought he was still just earning hella cash, not doing anything at Arsenal. That's sad. I missed.
Would you take Lacazette as backup striker? Would you take Lacazette as a backup striker?
Oh hell no, no.
I do like the idea of pissing off Gooner fans, but
imagine scoring a last minute winner against the Gooners. That'd be lovely. But, or Diego Costa against Chelsea.
My God, Diego Costa would be awesome.
Mate, you say Joshua Boateng's still available. So is Costa, 32 years old. He's available on a free. That'd be great.
That would be so cool. I wanted him for Jose, and I also wanted Mitrovic as as an alternative.
Oh,
because I feel like
we haven't looked at Mitrovic. He was one of the guys at the end of last season. I was thinking, why is he not playing for Fulham? I was like, he'd be great backup for Spurs. I haven't thought about him this whole window. Great name to pick up on there. Yeah, bloody hell, backup. He'd be brilliant. I think.
Scott says, fair enough. I'm still in the doom and gloom stage.
Scott, you're everywhere, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my show the other day. You're a good dude, Scott.
Scott says, I think we'll finish 8th with 0 domestic. I mean, like I say, it could happen. Finish 8th with 0 domestic cups and a chance at the Conference League, depending on how we approach it. And that might be the way we get into the
Europa League.
Yeah, winning the Conference League. So, I mean, it's not far-fetched. I mean, like I said, we're a team that can finish 4th through 8th. I don't think anything below 8th, because I think our team is going to be better. Love the stream, fellas. We love you, Wayne. Thank you for the support. You, Scott, Alejandro, Wayne. I mean, you guys have been awesome. And I love this quote, this post by Alejandro. He says, Leeds and Aston Villa will overtake the Gunners, which I 100% agree.
Man, Aston Villa have some cash to spend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried about West Ham. I am.
West Ham?
I feel like some of the players they relied on last year are older, at least. Like
Souček, Declan Rice, a year older. Kafal.
But haven't they been playing? Did they play Yarmolenko? Did Yarmolenko play for them?
Yeah, I think he's still there. He's good. He's off the bench. He's a good option.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was hoping he was starting because he's.
They just signed somebody too.
Milinkovic, the centre back, isn't it? If they sign a striker, because they sold Haller to Ajax last January, so they're in for a striker. They missed out on Danny Ings. They will get a striker before the window ends. They worry me. Ben Rama. If you would talk about natural talent like Ndombele, Ben Rama didn't have the best of seasons in his first season. Last year, they signed him from Brentford last season, £20 million. If he comes good, I think he's going to come good, Ben Rama. They're serious. They're serious. They're in the hunt for Europa League again, at least. Yeah. They've got Areola in goal now as well. He's very, very good. Instead of Fabianski, who's making errors. So West Ham worry me. West Ham do worry me, to be honest with you. And their pre-season has been fantastic. They beat Celtic 6-2 away. They beat Atlanta 2-0 the other day. So
West Ham looks good. Aston Villa.
Did Chelsea win today against the game against?
Penalties. Yeah, they won on penalties. Yeah, Villarreal.
They won on penalties. Yeah, they. I hate Chelsea, and I know we gotta go, but this is one of my pet peeves. I know over there, Tommy, and I watch it. I cannot stand Sky Sports, but at least it's better than ESPN FC. Now, understand this. Understand this. The Ballon d'Or, right? ESPN FC has been pimping Jorginho, because he won the Champions League with Chelsea, because he won the Euros with Italy, as a strong candidate to win the Ballon d'Or. I'm like, this dude is not even better than, he's not even the most important Chelsea player, which is Conte. Conte is the player in Chelsea. In Italy, I mean, you have Verratti, Chiesa. I mean, you can even go with Bonucci and Chiellini. Jorginho struggled the beginning of the season. He couldn't even hit a penalty kick. Remember the beginning of last season for Chelsea? So I don't get where ESPN FC, Jorginho.
It's all for clicks and stupid American people that don't pay enough attention to the sport and only watch major tournaments. And they're pandering to like the lowest common denominator, and they get paid to be a
midfielder. I don't think a centre midfielder probably will win the Ballon d'Or in the next 20 years, to be honest.
Yeah, when's the last time that even happened?
If they do, it's certainly not going to be the Jorginho type. It'll be a goal-scoring centre midfielder. So, yeah, that's just not going to happen. Yeah, as you say, Maury, at the start of last season under Lampard, he wasn't even getting in the team, let alone taking and missing penalties. He wasn't getting in the Chelsea team.
Remember how bad he got embarrassed by Sonny?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the player that Sonny just ghosted by to score that awesome solo goal?
I'll tell you what, Jorginho is similar to Winks. Jorginho is similar to Winks. He's similar to Skip. If you don't have the right system, they'll look very poor. Jorginho in Lampard's system looked terrible. Tuchel come in, it suited him more. Sarri system suited him more. Winks and Skip will struggle in a specific system. So hopefully we play to a system that works to Skip's benefits, like Tuchel is with Jorginho, and we see the best of them, because Oliver Skip could be whatever he wants to be, and certainly future Spurs captain there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, last comment I will read is William Bonner. I love this comment. We got Cody Mack who just posted something. If West Ham have Europe, they'll finish mid-table.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't really have a thick squad. Yeah, it's pretty thin.
I mean, they may have a good, strong starting 11, but do they have the depth to be able to now play on Thursday nights and play Sunday? That's going to be huge. Cody says, if the squad stays as is, what formation do you want to see? 3 at the back or 4 at the back?
Well, I've said 3 at the back for a long time. I've said 3 at the back for a very long time.
I think we have the personnel for 3 at the back, but for some reason or another, the manager and whoever else in charge is not seeing it that way, or at least that's what we're being led to believe with the preseason games. Maybe that's just a giant mind fuck, and we'll come out with the back 3 against City. Who knows? So
in the back 3, would it be Romero, Sanchez,
Tanganga right centre back,
and Tanganga?
Or you could put Rodon there. If you've got 3 centre backs, you could risk Rodon because he's aggressive. You could risk Rodon more because that's his biggest problem, is he's too aggressive. It'd probably be. I wouldn't mind. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind Sanchez, Romero, and Tanganga. I think they could do something. Or it'd probably be Dyer, wouldn't it? And we've got Ben Davies, who played left centre back for. We've got Davies, who played left centre back for Wolves as backup. Sessegnon played left wing back for Hoffenheim last season and done well. It suits Sessegnon. Reggie, it suits Reggie because he can make defensive errors at left wing backs. He's got 3 centre backs behind him. Doherty has only ever done well at right wing back. It honestly, 3 at the back suits our squad perfectly in my eyes, but it doesn't look like we're going to go with it.
Maybe though it's misdirection. It wouldn't be the first time, but
I hope so, because I think it's perfect for this team. I think with the personnel we have, I think it fits perfectly, especially defensively where we've had our biggest problems. But who knows?
Yeah. Well, boys, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me, man.
This episode's important because people will go reference this episode with our predictions. I say top 4. Of course, when we kick off against City, we win that game. We're winning the league.
Oh shit! Yeah, if we win that game, baby.
Yeah. I mean, and I think we have a good chance of winning. I'd rather play Manchester City at the beginning of the year. They're missing a couple players. I think Foden and I want to say Sterling. They're missing 2 players. I forget. I know it's Foden is one of them.
I think it is De Bruyne. I think De Bruyne is going to struggle.
Yeah, De Bruyne. Yeah,
I think De Bruyne is going to struggle to play.
It's De Bruyne and Foden are not going to.
They've only got Grealish. They've only got Grealish and Bernardo Silva as backup.
Yeah.
Poor them.
It will be a different episode. It will be a different episode.
And Mahrez. Yeah, only little Mahrez.
Yeah.
It will be a different episode when I talk about the super teams in relation to the Super League, because the one thing I just find funny, and trust me, don't get me wrong, I absolutely hate the Super League, but yet there's not a huge uproar of these super teams, which is just horrible, and I'm questioning, where is FFP? What is that? Like it's a joke, but that would be another episode. But guys, I got to eat my dinner, and I know Tommy needs to go to bed, and maybe Colin has to eat dinner too.
I've been eating French fries during this thing. I hope no one.
Really?
I've been sneaking fries the entire time.
Oh, I was tempted in eating these lifesaver snacks, these gummies, because I'm so hungry. But yeah. Before I let you guys go, Tommy, can you tell people where they can find you?
Before I talk about myself, I understand this is a new channel from Mari. He's just started going live, as Colin has. So we need all the support you can get, because we're one big family. We're a Spurs family. We're a community, and a football community as well. Because I see a lot of neutral fans on here, and Mari, as he goes on, he'll probably see more neutral fans as well. So it's a football family. If you want to see more, and if you're watching, you've obviously enjoyed it. You have to subscribe. You have to tick the notification bell and smash the like. Get liking, because it improves the content. It gets us releasing more. So TTB is my channel, Tommy Talks Ball, and tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a tier list at 8:30 p.m. UK time. So if you want to come over for that, it'd be much appreciated. And but before all that, absolutely subscribe to Mari and Colin, because they're both at similar points. They're both starting out. So make sure you sub to those boys. Fantastic, big pleasure being on here for the first time, Mari. Thank you very much.
Colin?
Man, that was super nice, Tommy. Thank you. I'm touched. But yeah, you can catch me on YouTube, Talking Ball, and me and Tommy didn't coordinate. That was just an accident that our names are so similar. But
I think subconsciously I've nicked it one way or.
Hey, I'm glad to collab. It's perfect. But yeah, Talking Ball, Chatting Shit is the main show that I do. If you search Talking Ball, Chatting Shit, I'll pop up. You can subscribe to my channel from there. I've got some previous videos. Just did one 2 days ago. I had a great time. I think it was maybe the funnest one yet. So like Tommy said, just watch the previous videos, comment, like anything, subscribe. We'd love to see you there.
Okay. And with this channel, next week it's gonna be a big week because there is gonna be 2 shows. One called The Recap, which is going to be my post-game commentary. Sometimes it might be me, it might be some other people. So the first recap will be immediately after the Manchester City game, and in that show, I'm hoping to just get the public to just be able to come in. I'm gonna put the link, and if you want to be able to express your opinion, the recap will be that format. So I'm really excited about that because there's a lot of people. So meaning the Waynes, the Scott, the Alejandros. You click on the link, you're on, and you will give your feedback of the Manchester City game, hot and fresh. So I'm really excited about the recap. And then the second show, because we'll still have that Spurs episode, but the second show is a real interesting show. It's called the Spurs Love Lounge. We're going to talk about what we love about Spurs, what we love about the first game. There'll be some hate there too, what we do hate, but it's going to be a really, really interesting show. And I've been working to get some different people to come in because our family is Spurs. What I love about Spurs family, it's huge, it's big, it's diverse, and it's unique. So the Spurs Love Lounge is going to be awesome.
It could be Spurs. If we lose to City, it could be Spurs therapy. If we get battered by Man City, it might be changed to Spurs therapy.
Everyone pour yourself a drink and get on the stream. We'll drink it away.
Tommy, you are a genius, because that will also be the premise of the show. If we apparently lose, of course, I'll still have my glass of wine and be able to talk about
glasses of wine for me,
or my old fashioned, and just complain about it, but all in love, because we still love Spurs. Win or lose or draw, we love Spurs. So I'm really excited about that show, and I'm recruiting some interesting personalities along with people that you've already known, like Tommy, Colin, Bob, and so, but also there's other people who are out there who have a say, and so I'm gonna try.
Let's get Mr. K in here.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I love that dude.
No, Mr.
Good,
K,
man.
he's
Mr.
really
K,
good.
He's on mine Tuesday as well. With his shades and
Man, I'm trying to work. Before I go, I'm trying to work on AJ Tracy. He is a big rapper, huge Spurs fan.
We know him very well. We know him very well here.
And he's responded to me because he's like, "Oh wow, American fan." Because I've been, telling other Americans about him, who have never heard of him. I'm like, "Hey, yeah, he's a British rapper and stuff." So,
Rhyme.
so So I'm gonna try to see if I could have him on, and so I'm really excited. But the recap is gonna be good. That's gonna be hot and fresh out the presses. So yeah, so that's all I got, guys. All right, let's beat City. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Tottenham. Come on, Tottenham. Come on, you Spurs.
All right.